Hello, gorgeous human beings of the channel, a summit of sisterhood for me, for you, for us. This is day 4 of the channel. Oh my gosh, the messages that we've been receiving about everything that's been said so far has been out of this world. So much resonance with different participants and really reaching out to say, like, it's true how they're all so different. And I got something from everyone. The feedback has been really, really extraordinary. And if you want to make sure it gets it to the participants, if you have anything you want to say, you want to share with them, you can comment directly on the videos. You can also share on social media and tag Alpha Femme so I can repost it on my timeline. But thank you all so much for your participation, your love. It's really been an incredible experience so far. Today we have a guest that is magic on legs. This is a otherworldly experience. Homaya is someone that is more than a someone, is the only way I could possibly explain this person. She's a presence, she's an energy, she's an ideal, she's a concept, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's a friend, she's really someone extremely special. And when I bring her on here, it won't take long before you feel it. It really is an extraordinary feeling. When I first met Homaya, I couldn't quite believe, you know, how sometimes it happens. You're like, is this person really like this? Is this like, what is this? And it's like, no, this is exactly right. She wrote pieces of poetry in the channel during some, to start the channel, to hold a vision for the channel that took my breath away. She read it in a very pivotal moment inside the channel that took my breath away all over again. She's an artist, she's a channel, gosh, I can't even say what she's been for all of us. She's really something special. And so I'm very excited for you to have the opportunity to meet this woman. Without further ado, I would love to introduce you, Homaya Amar. Hello, Homaya.
Hello, Melanie. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. It was quite a journey, even just to get to this moment. So I'm very happy, and I see so many people from my world and from my realm, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. And of course, all the ladies of the channel, which I love you so much, and I couldn't do it without you, and Melanie, and the Alpha Femme team. It's like, for me, just that is a summit, you know, just this moment now, it's a summit in my life.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you. So there's so many places we could start. That's the thing about you. There's so many places we could start. Where would you like to start?
So, you know, the initial intention for this meeting, for this gathering for me, was to share some light about the calling. And I feel, again, something around it was in the first meeting that we had in the channel, you and I, which was a little bit more in depth into our connection. And you were saying towards the end, you were saying to me, you should go on a podcast. You should go on a podcast, let people interview you on a podcast. And you also said something like, it's going to be entertaining. And I was like, why is she saying something like that? I'm not, you know, this is not who I am, to entertain people. But then it was a foreseeing experience, because without me putting energy around that, people started reaching out, and I was invited to the first podcast, and then to the second podcast, and then to the third podcast, and without me doing any effort around it. And there's, including Juliet podcast and Shalomida podcast, and but it was like ripple. There were podcasts that I was actually interviewed twice, and Shalomida, for example, she put me twice in her podcast, so she launched it twice. There were podcasts that in the first week ranked for like such a high score. So that was like, oh my God. And then I said to myself, okay, So why don't I take this message even seriously and move to run my own podcast by myself? And then gave it the name The Calling. We're still working behind the scene of it, but I felt that this is what I really would like to speak of. So for me, it's nothing out of a coincidence that that was our conversation, that this what happened. Like I've been to more than 12 podcasts in less than a year, and without effort, zero. And that I am in the midst of launching my podcast. Like I feel that this is a divine plane that is introducing itself in the most beautiful way.
That makes me happy.
That makes me also very happy.
I remember the reason I felt that in the moment was that when you were trying to figure out what you wanted to say on your own, there was a lot of pauses and thinking to get it right. And as soon as I started talking with you, you started saying things that were so brilliant. I couldn't have written fast enough if I tried. And I was like, I feel like there's something about the knowing that someone wants the answer. And that's what being interviewed on a podcast often feels like. It's like someone wants this answer and I can give them that if I know they want it. And we kind of dove into that, realizing that for you, it has to be received. It has to feel like people want it, or else the channel just kind of slows down a little bit. And I think it opened a gateway because something cracked open during that time.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I feel that this is also something that we went through, you know, like being invited, because there's something so esoteric in what I'm doing. So, you know, I love that when you introduced me, you said she's a mother, she's a wife. I'm really grateful that I'm also looking like a human being and that I have like normal, you know, like I have proof. I'm married, I have excellent relationship with my families and my friend. I have my child with an excellent relationship with him. Thanks God that all of that is being taken care of on the physical plane, because the rest of it is so bizarre. And so like there are so few people who can understand what I'm doing, and even fewer who can do what I do. And to live with that, it's for the human in me, many times it's a challenge. It's not so obvious, it's not so natural. And to deal many times with the reflections of the doubts and not being willing to open up into the transmission, it's not something, I would say that this is spiritually unsafe, I would say, for me to bombard someone with what I see and what I feel and, you know, like what I can even do energetically, although I can do it, like I can do it now to everyone in a split of a second. But if the person would not stand and look in my eyes and say, yes, I'm ready for that, and this is what I'm willing, and this is where I'm going, and I'm in that depth of commitment to myself, to my life, to this life experience, and I am ready to see the truth and to be the truth and to feel the truth, then I wouldn't do that. I would not.
I feel like this is such an important conversation for anyone here who's had a feeling inside like they have a special gift, but they are very well aware that they are human, that they've got friends and a partner and kids and all the things. And the fact that they're human stops them, which is crazy because we're all human, but their humanity stops them from the gift instead of thinking, maybe there's something in the way it needs to feel for me. It's not, I'm not good enough or I'm not capable. It's, I'm not being invited. I'm not speaking to the correct people. The people I'm speaking to don't actually accept me as this force, this power, this magic yet. And so it's not that I'm not good enough. It's that I'm not yet being accepted or received as the person I desire to be in order to unleash this magic on a person. I'm not just going to unleash it. They won't understand. And so it's like building that understanding of who you are so it can flow.
Yeah, it is in multi-dimension, of course. So it is an inner work for you to come, for me in that sense, to come in peace with, this is who I am, like this is what I am, this is what I do. The fact that people cannot understand it, I have compassion towards it. I'm very grateful like for that my husband understand me, because if not, I'm not sure that we will be even able to be together.
That would be tough.
That would be tough for everyone. So I'm very grateful for that. And then there is another dimension, which is I'm doing it any case. Whether you benefit from it or not, like I'm doing it.
Yes.
It's happening.
Yes.
Would you like to be part of it? It's for you. And be part of it, you know, it's not that I truly feel that people who come closer in my presence, they are being touched. Whether they are my clients or my friends or the people who work with me, like it's almost impossible that you wouldn't be touched, because it's just, it's that, it's there, it's here. Like you cannot avoid it. It's not that I turn the light on and off, but what I have is a certain awareness of the level of boundaries that I hold for myself and for others. So I am aware of who are my friends and how close I get to people and how close people are get to me, and if they get to me in a certain way, so until where I can go. And even if someone will sit with me in class, for example, which happens so many times, someone will sit with me in class, already took babysitter, right? They already took babysitter, they already drove to the class, they already paid the money, but there would be another layer of unlocking that I would ask, are you ready for it? And this calling, this ask and response, I am only echoing what you have in your heart. I'm not asking anything that you do not already ask yourself. When I ask someone, are you ready for that? When I ask someone, where would you like to receive the healing? When I ask someone, would you be following that? It's not because I am an external voice that knows something more. I don't do anything to no one, actually. I am a field of resonance, and as you are coming into my field, you're being touched. If you say an inner yes within you, you will be touched. It's impossible not to.
What I love about how you describe this and how confident you've become in saying this over the last few years, because I feel like this is the strongest I've ever heard you explain yourself, you know what I mean? But in the way that you show up, so many people have said that they have activated a part in them in being around you. It's like you also make people feel and see the magic in them when they're around you. There's this unlocking of themselves. Like all of a sudden, I see what it would look like for me to let myself be a little more like this. I see what it would look like what it looks like to still be a human, but to be a human on this level of self mastery, you know, in this area. And I feel like so many women in the channel started to unlock extraordinary gifts after that retreat, because it felt like you had sincerely unlocked something inside of them. It was like, I see myself when I'm with you. And that's such an incredible gift.
Yeah, I feel that, you know, when you were describing now, you said they are being able to activate something inside of them. And I feel that this something, if I would need to put words, what is this something, is themselves. Without masks, without covers, without fear of being who they are and what they are, without it's like you are being more who you are, as you are what you are being more than that. And you know, one of the reasons that I've chose to learn with you and be in your presence and you know, do all those beautiful things that we're doing together. One of the reasons is because I felt that I have achieved a certain level in my service that I truly deeply wanted to open up even more. And the transition that I needed to do in order to keep the same vibrational impact, encapsulating light from, you know, being in person with people into doing that online, which for me started before the pandemic. It was not, you know, it's not this immigration, the pandemic immigration. It started because of an internal movement. I arrived to the pandemic ready. but I felt that I needed to unlock some things in my expression and in the way that I feel comfortable to speak about things. We go back to, I will give you the healing even if you don't understand it, if you say yes to it. To be in a place where I speak online and I know that there are people who might not get it, but I am having the energetic awareness for myself and from them to be able to direct it and to let people be touched even if they read a post.
That's quite amazing.
Yes, and I'm very grateful for that.
You know, one thing I've always really appreciated about you that's really felt new for me and how you've been unique for me inside of this channel and honestly in my life. And I've felt something similar with Lisa and the two Lisas actually, but there's something very special about you, that the way that you hold yourself in your own power and the way that you acknowledge your own power makes it that you expect power in other people. And so with Lisa yesterday, I was saying the value. She expects value in other people because she sees value. For you, I feel like you expect power in other people because you have power. And what I've always loved about you is the way that you interact with me. And this is such a rare thing, is like you respect what I've done in such a real way. And it's not like admiration in the human way, it's admiration in a soul to soul way. I don't know how to explain it.
You explained it fantastic.
It's like a wow, but not wow like I'm in the light and you're in the shadow, wow like we're both in the light. And that's something that I've rarely experienced in my life. And it's such an incredible gift. It's something I wish, I hope, I know it's something I know that will ripple from your work on this planet and more people being with you, because you really bring something unique in the way that you interact with people. It's like I'm blown away by you. I see you. I'm amazed by you, but not for 1 second because I'm less, because it's because I'm more that I can see it. And I feel like that level of spiritual maturity is why so many people gravitate to you. And so many people feel safe to do this kind of work with you, because you really do see people's power, even though you're speaking huge spiritual concepts that the language sometimes might even go above people's heads before they've mastered what you know. But the way you say it never feels condescending, never feels like you're the spiritual master and everybody else doesn't know what they're doing. It always sounds like you expect they know what you're saying and you're calling them home, whether they're coming or not. And that for me is so rare and so unique and so beautiful. And I've experienced it for myself as a human being. And I love how I feel about me in your presence.
Oh, so good. I'm very grateful.
Me too.
I'm very grateful for that. I feel, well, for me, although, one of my next classes is empowered, but for me, the real energy description will be mastery. So this level of mastery, this is where I'm heading. This is where I am. This is where I'm expect people to expect, again, with a very welcoming attitude, but this is where, this is the standard. Whether you are a baby master, like you're saying, baby goddess. So in my own language, this is truth, because in my own language, when I speak to some of my students who go deep in the work with me, for me, they're baby master. When they will move into mastery, it's a level of firmness and practice and presence and all the work that you need to do there. But it's like, it's mastery. Sooner or later, you're going to get into mastery. So this is the meaning for me of power. It's mastery, it's self-awareness, it's connectivity. And there's so many ways how to explain what it is being in self-mastery, but in the context of being in the channel, in the context of my relationship with you, in a context of being a mature master who choose to learn from someone in a very devotional way, is the grandmother inside of me is as present as the inner child. Like I have them both. and they are, they are with me.
I
They're with.
I feel so resonant with what you just said. The grandmother and the child both reside in you and in me. I feel that. I feel that so clearly. I don't think there's a better way to explain you as a person, actually. I feel like that is your bridge, where the great grandmother energy meets the innocence of the young child. Like right there at that juncture, that's where you are.
Yeah. And then also, when you were saying that I am speaking with you and communicating with you soul to soul, it's with you and with everyone.
Yeah.
It's like, I literally cannot see face. Like if my husband, and it is my husband, although there are some times that I would pay attention to, but like if someone will change the haircut or the hair color, I wouldn't pay attention to it, because I truly first see souls, although it's really important for me how things will unfold on the physical plan. Like everything should be beautiful, comme il faut, like I'm really into it. But then I first see the eyes. I first see literally the light that comes out of the eyes. This is the first impression that I get. And then layer by layer, I get there. And when I see people who are in greater service to other people, and there is a soul resonance, when I saw you, I saw the soul contract that you've signed for this life. Like I saw you beyond your age, beyond your story, beyond the physical phenomena. Like I remember the first time that Sophia showed me your photo, and I looked at it, and the first thing that I said, owl. And then the second and she looked at me, and then I said, extraterrestrial. And she looks at me like that. But those were the two things that I saw. The first thing, the wisdom of an owl who could see even in the darkness, and an elevated wisdom that is coming way beyond what exists now currently. Those were the two things. Afterwards, I saw other things we take a deep breath.
Yeah. I got this. I'm okay.
And then after, gradually, I could see the rest of the things, but I can understand what it means to hold what you're holding. Although I'm not holding it yet, but I can literally understand what you have in a level of a soul, not only in a level of a human. I'm going to take a deep breath. And I am honored to stand and communicate with someone like you.
Wow. Thank you. So many things have felt clear for me since this channel. And so I've had different opportunities to work with you, because I've had the channel and then the matrix and the continuum. Like I've had more opportunities of proximity with you. But there's been a very clear change in who I feel I serve. When I first came into this world, there was the coaching world. I felt like the people who were really drawn to me were people who wanted what I had. And the shift that has occurred very recently through our work and through being surrounded by people like you and some of the incredible women in this channel is, it's not people who want what I have. It's people who want to be with who I am, and who understand that it's not about taking it. It's about walking with it. And it's been such a gift to witness the difference, so I could make such a clear choice in my life for what I do, who I serve, and who I'm available for. Your level of respect for the person, whoever it is, made me realize there are people that are correct in the way that they see mentorship, and that it's just important to stay that course because they're there. And I feel like the more you speak resonance about this. People are getting it more and more through your voice, through how you speak. A lot of people have transformed their experience of receiving from another person instead of taking from your words.
Yeah. Well, I must admit that I feel that there is something in the spiritual path that when you're not just, boogieing around the spiritual path because you do twice a week you go to yoga or something like that. We all do respect, excuse me, for those who might feel unrespected. But I feel that the spiritual path is something enchanting and very demanding in order indeed to hold power, to hold this level of mastery. And in my spiritual initiation and in my spiritual path, I've done things and I've been with masters that I don't know how many like that exist in the world. I don't know how many like that really do this work anymore. And what is happening is strong spiritual concepts are being vanished because what is grabbing our attention so intensely is it's immediate gratification, which you get as we are very much connected to the internet, and a conversation about holding yourself and purifying your ego and moving into emotional mastery and self-mastery, like all of those resilience, firmness, intentionally taking the poison and not dying, like all of those spiritual practices that I have done and I'm still doing for more than 20 years. And that was prior of the cards as a soul that I've took for myself. I feel that those things are being less and less done and even almost being less and less mentioned. And the easiness of, it's not that I don't believe in easiness, I do believe in it, but I also believe that there would be a limit for your self-love and an inner peace if you are not really in the resonance of the space that you declare that you're holding. So I feel that my spiritual education, the fact that I was in a lineage, the fact that in some way I'm still in the lineage, the fact that I had masters upon me, the fact that I became a master of students and I then became a master of masters, it gave me this work of clearing the ego. Unfortunately, it's not in the fashion, but I don't feel that we're going to get a real good world if we're not going to do this work.
What does ego mean to you specifically? How do you describe it?
I'm in a state that I'm not sure that this would be now only my description. I feel that this is so strong within me. Ego is a part that humans develop as they move into poverty, maturity, in order to establish themselves, to be capable, to be in the world. So it is a natural part that we develop. Yet this natural part we need to become aware of it. And what is happening, so this is the one who protects you in some way, this is the one who keeps you in survival. And when you look around in the world, you see that for most of the people, this part is so ruling so much. When you were saying people are with me because they want to walk by my side, or people are with me because they want to get something, my description of it, there are some students who comes to learn with me because they want to get 10 from my light, they want to get a little bit more bronze, right? There are some students that comes from that reason. And there are some students who come to join forces. They don't ask if they have less light or more light than me, or what do they hold. They come to be in the presence. They come because we are all finger on the same hands, and they have that as a basic. So we do have ego, and each and every one have ego, and we have relationship with that. But if your ego is being inflated and your ego is running the show, so it's a whole different show. And going back into speaking about calling, everyone all the time receive spiritual callings in order to recall and remember their true nature, which is free of ego, free of competition, free of judgment, free of measurement, free of definition, separation. The ego will not remember that we are all rays coming from the same sun. The ego is so occupied if his ray is strong enough, if his ray is receiving what he is supposed to receive because he gives light, you know, like the ego is one dimension, and it is disconnected from the all-encompassing dimension, the infinite dimension of life. And part of the reasons that we have wake-up calls and initiation, the human is receiving initiation, wake-up call, spiritual call, initiation, everything is for us to wake up into our true nature, into where we are, who we are.
So I'm feeling a transition, and I want to follow my intuition. So you just said there's some people that come and they understand they're all fingers on the same hand with you, which is kind of my equal but different, right? But there's also the people that come to get bronzé. They just want to get tanned from your light. But there are people, which they do, and which is perfect. There's people who come to get bronzé from my light too, and that's okay. But then there's the people who think it's okay to try to take the light. And I feel like we are experiencing that in the world right now. People who think it's okay to go take something.
They can think.
Yeah.
Anything beyond it would not happen. One of the things that we need to become aware of is that we never are able to take something physical. Whatever we take, which is not ours, comes together with the energetic imprint and the energetic charge that comes with it. So, you know, the Roman took Jesus' life, and now they have the Vatican in the middle of Rome. And they needed to spread the message. If you take something which is not yours and you did not receive it, what you take with it is all its karma. What you take the entire heritage, body, heart, and soul. What you would do with it, we cannot know. It might crush you. You might not be able to really carry it. You might not have the noble and aware energy to understand what you're doing. We're going to all take a deep breath, because, you know, the energy indeed shifted. And I feel that I want to go for a moment to speak again about mastery and power.
Okay.
So in this journey of moving into holding greater power and being more powerful, who you are as you are, you know, in this journey, it's a journey that humankind are going through. Like, if you look at who we were as species before, what was that? And who we are now, part of our, I would use the word DNA, is into a constant exploration. It is the expression of abundance in each individual. So we're evolving, and we're searching for more, and we're searching for more power. We're searching for more awareness. And there are different ways that people are doing it. And we need to be aware that people are doing it through external supports. And external support could be based on ego, which is, could be even using drugs and using supplements to, pump a little bit the entire perception of yourself, get the chair a little bit higher. That could be an option. Or it can be a mentoring, which can also be an option because you are being supported by an external energy. But then your alignment with your soul is actually what will support you here for everything to truly land inside in a way that will keep you centered. That when the wind comes, you're not going to be all shaken. Like when the wind, when the spirit, when the energy, when the challenge come, you're not going to be all shaken. And in the human pursue after more power and greater capacity, there are parts that are being done for greater control. But control does not really exist. Sooner or later, spirit will show up and shuffle the cards again, and you're going to stand, like naked under the wind and with the rain and try to figure out, what are you doing now? And nothing will evolve, only more of the same. So if you used anything external and you didn't use, I don't know if to say the word use, if you use anything external without having a strong alignment within you and your soul, your spirit is not awakened within you, what you're going to get is more of the same. And shakes and shakes. And feeling depleted and burned out in seeking for where is the next oxygen that I can, oxygen mask that will make me feel that I'm okay and that this is my life and my creativity is indeed my creativity and what comes from me is indeed coming from me, and I can keep on, like one of the things that I am so proud is like I am 22 years in business doing such an esoteric work, like it's almost impossible to explain, and I'm still here. And I'm still providing for my family, for the people who work with me. Like this by itself, for me, it's a great, like it's such an honor. And I'm like, stop me, because it's like, oh, today I channel that, and then I channel the other thing, and then I will give you, oh, you need that, just a minute, let me see. It's like, it's almost like it's so there's big difference if you go and do this empowerment work through seeking external oxygen, taking from others, and then don't know what to do with this because you took spirit, body, and soul. Or you move through this journey and you're so anchored within you, and you're so connected within you. So then you would never take because you would not want to take. Everything which is not yours will seems like horrible. Why it's like, it's almost like it's not that what you have is not beautiful, but it's not mine. It's not me.
And the reason I brought this forward is because when we were talking privately, we talked about peace. And we talked about, I'm not going to go too deep, but we talked about peace. And the reason I brought this up when I say some people take, because instead of being tanned by the beauty that's available on this planet, instead of walking with the beauty on this planet, there's this feeling of needing to take something. And yes, this can be brought back to humans and coaching and mentoring, but it can also be taken into context of like the world as a whole kind of does this. And is it possible to take something that isn't yours and live in peace? Is it possible to try to take a light, to take a life, to take with violence, to take with vengeance, to take and be in peace?
On the first place, you were not in peace. That made you take something. It's not that you took and it take you out. On the first place, you were disconnected from your soul. You were disconnected from the divine light. You search external support, and then you keep on searching for it by taking. In context of war, taking lives of others. on the first place you are not in peace. So how would it lead you to peace? Cannot.
So if, and this is like the most high level like expression of this conversation, but again, touching into the idealism of all of us, if we had this vision of peace, peace without war, peace without violence, peace without theft, peace, then people would already be in peace, which means none of the other things would happen anyway. So it's kind of one of those, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? How do you restore peace? Or do you restore peace, or do you build it from nothing and change everything?
Well, as it is a chicken and an egg, we cannot have a clear answer. But what we can say is that every time that we receive a wake-up call, like what is happening now in the world, it is a wake-up call. It is coming not because now it is the time, although we do have conversation about peace, but it's really not the time to speak about peace, because peace is not happening. But now it is the time to wake up to how important that is, and to do, even if those are little tiny steps, to do those little tiny steps now. So then you are engraving in your system a new way of being and changing the trajectory of how you're going to advance from here. And, you know, revenge is an option, but it is, I wouldn't say that this is an aware option with all the challenges of feeling the pain around it, because it's already been proven that this tactic didn't lead to good results. So, okay, what can we do? Even if it would be just a prayer and an inner commitment that I am on my daily life restoring my inner peace with being who I am and playing with the cards that I've received and winning my own inner game as a ray on the sun with the cards that I've received. Because the outcome of what we are experiencing now, this explosion of energies that comes out of war and is being expressed as taking life, it was seeded somewhere. It's sad to speak about it, and the one who identifies himself and herself as the victim cannot listen even to that. Yes, so now it's not the time to have this conversation of, oh, wake up to your light, wake up to your peace. But this is the conversation. Wake up to what you've received, wake up to your nature, and believe in this good, and believe, deeply believe in this inner peace. And we must admit, if everything is energy in this world exposing itself and coming to the surface, what is that if not, what is war if not that? It's a wake-up call, because those little calls that were before were not answered.
So what can every person do for themselves? What's the beginning? If someone meets you here for the first time, they're listening to you speak, like what's the beginning?
Answering the call is the beginning. And not letting your ego say to yourself, imagine I wouldn't answer the call, you know, like imagine I wouldn't answer. First is understanding you're the one who put the call, like no one else. You were calling your own self. And pick the phone. You hear a calling, don't let your ego take you away. And if you see that you're sabotaging yourself and, you know, going away, because you see the level of happiness, you see the level of peace, you see the level of connection that you feel in your life, it means something. How you feel inside of you. So that would be enough place to say, okay, I need to clear a little bit my ego, connect a little bit more to my light, and activate more my own light, trust my own light, do the work. Learn and practice and learn and practice and stay in the field. You know, I have students who are with me for so many years, not because they are still not mature. They are with me for so many years because we're staying in the field together.
That's it.
You just stay in the field. They don't need the teachings. They can teach. They are teachings, but we stay in the field.
I love that. Oh, what a beautiful conversation. I can't believe it's been an hour. This just flew by way too fast.
Oh my God.
Is there
How are
anything
you?
we haven't covered that was important for you to say today? I want to make sure I know I had a few notes. I tried to guide as much as I could, but I want to make sure I don't forget anything.
Yeah, I want to share that the calling is not as your friend is calling you. There's something bizarre. You will see a woman naked with a towel on her head, and you would say to yourself, what the fuck, excuse me, is that? It's like the calling is not, it needs to grab attention. Your spiritual calling needs to grab attention. I remember so many times, the times that I already know, like I know the frequency. When something is within, like spirit wants to speak with me, I feel the thought that is a type of, what is that? Like, I don't like that. Like I feel the frequency where spirit wants me to pay attention. Okay, I'm paying attention. I understand. So I feel that this is really a key point for all of us to understand. And another thing is that I feel that we should understand in the context of the channel that sometimes there is your personal call. It is something about you, about your life. It's like something which is for you. And sometimes there is a collective call.
Yeah.
And I feel that the channel is a collective call. I feel that this is why within me, I know that it would not end. Even if the container will come into completion, it has an infinite qualities in it because it is a collective call. Those are groups, we are groups of souls who have been together in different monasteries, in different temples. We have done different rituals in lives before, and we signed an agreement to come here together.
Mm.
We all know each other. There's no reason, like, how can you explain that amount of ladies, that amount of ladies coming together in such a supporting way and in such a harmonious experience, if we are not all very much aware of who we are and what we have done, generations and generations and past life before, and we came again, we united again in order to shift awareness and leadership in life now. So yes, there is
Wild how it happened, because it really was from nothing.
Oh no, it was from my spirit guide.
It was from your spirit guide. Oh, I see. But it came from, like, there wasn't an idea before. There wasn't a plan. It interrupted the plan. The calling interrupted the plan for me, for you, for all of us. It was like, this was not the plan for anybody. And all of a sudden it interrupted the plan, and it was like, this is happening now. And who's coming? And what I find so interesting with this is that's what a call often is. You're in the middle of doing something and someone calls you. It interrupts your sentence. It interrupts your plan. It interrupts your day. Hey, what's up? And sometimes we say, oh, I don't have time to answer this call, or I don't have, and so why was it that this call everyone answered? I feel like it was for today, for this summit. When I really realized it, it feels like the whole reason for the call was for the people who could easily answer it to be able to one day create what today was. Like, it took us 2 years to get to today, and today is for the world. And it's so interesting because the process in my life, and what I often talk about, duality and being able to hold the light and the dark together, and to really have to do that in order to. I was on a coaching call yesterday, and I said to the client that I was speaking with, I said, the leaders are a bridge. And depending on how many people and how many souls they feel can walk that bridge, they're going to need to be tested for strength. Because you can't create a bridge and let people walk on it if you haven't tested it before. And so when you say to the world, I'm a leader and I'm a bridge for hundreds of people, the universe needs to test that bridge for 100 people to walk safely. And it will give you tests to make sure you can withstand a storm or the heaviness of 100 people standing at once on that bridge. And when you say I'm a leader for 1,000 souls, that bridge is tested again. And when you say I'm a leader for the world, that bridge is tested so strongly, sometimes you think it's going to break it. It'll never hold. It's not possible. And so the leaders are bridges that are tested for strength over and over and over and over again. And when I think of what this channel was, the duality in my life is that some people in that call that I was leading said, this is for me, that the phone rang and it's for me, and they answered. Some people heard the call and said, I have no feeling towards this. This is not for me. Some people heard the call and said, I can't, this is too crazy. I can't do it. Some people saw the call and said, this is ridiculous and I hate it. And one person actually took the video of me, put it on the internet, and created so much pain for me. And while we were in the back, all of us creating the kind of sisterhood and depth and magic that would create this event, there were people spreading rumors about how I had sold nothing and how I had basically duped a bunch of poor people to do something, where it's like the most extraordinary, powerful people in the world were sitting with me trying to figure out what this calling was so we could get here. And so in your own life, can you see that maybe there's people who are going to get you immediately? There's people who are going to get you and not have the courage to answer the call. There's people who are not even going to feel something. And then there's people who are going to feel it and hate it. And then there are people who are going to try to take it and break it. But if you're not a strong enough bridge, it means you won't be able to let the people who are supposed to walk with you walk on that bridge. And we had reasons. There were reasons this channel could have fallen apart. There were reasons, but there were more reasons that this channel had to survive and make it to the point where we could say we made it. And that's what I think the beautiful thing about this channel is for me, for you, for us, really means like anyone could have joined the channel, but not everyone did. And anyone could respond to this calling from this summit in their own life and say, I'm awake, I get it, I believe in the power of sisterhood. I want to heal this piece with women. I got this. Like, if this is possible, it's possible. And I see it and I get it. And I'm going to continue to, follow all these people who've got something magical. And who knows, maybe I end up on their podcast. Maybe I do business with them. Maybe there's something, or I'm going to create a sisterhood of my own, or, whatever it is that comes from the summit for you. What I hope is that this will be a call for you to answer, whatever that means in your own life. To go do something, to be a part of something, to put a sword down, whatever that is, because it was a calling for me. It was a calling for you in the channel. And in all of us answering that, because of the summit, it becomes a possible calling for the world, for whoever tunes in and feels this and hears this and gets this.
I believe that everyone who's part of the summit is receiving from the processes, the breakdowns and the breakthrough, and the love that we experience when we were in closed doors for 2 years.
Could you share one last piece, one last little thing? If anyone is watching this And instead of feeling a part of what we're doing, they feel apart from what we're doing. How could you help them bridge that?
Humble yourself. Humble yourself. It goes back to the conversation about the ego. The victim inside of you will feel apart. The victim is nourishing the ego in the darkest part of it. The victim would not like to see that you're a victim. But the thing is that every victim can create big war. All that you need is just a perception of victim, and it is endless. So therefore, humble yourself. Really look within you. What makes you judge? What makes you feel, even if you feel that you are unworthy, or you feel that the other person is unworthy, there is a judgment there. If there is a judgment there, there is an inner perception that is saying that I'm weak. Then instead of playing weak, be vulnerable. Instead of playing and telling yourself a story that you are weak, be humble. Humbleness is not less. Humbleness, I hope really, truly that the people can understand and get the frequency that I'm emitting now. Humbleness have such a softness in the heart. Humbleness is the awareness of who you are and what you are without the need to be over or under. Humbleness is eye level coming from the heart. Humble yourself so the judgment will clear, and focus on the party.
Focus on the party.
But there's a party. It's a party. Wouldn't you say so?
Did you see the post I made right before we went live?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No. Tell me.
Okay, this is like the perfect way to, okay. There was a time not long ago I feared this power. I feared it would make me unrelatable. I feared the relationships I had invested so much heart and soul in would disintegrate if I changed. But I believe something very different today. I believe the true relationships in my life up-level as I do. I believe that dreams come true is the most relatable thing on this planet. And beyond that, I believe the world is ready for successful women who own their power, who play big, and who revel in the lives they create. I believe my celebrations are our celebrations, and that your celebrations are my celebrations, and that there is no limit to the amount of partying that is reasonable in this new paradigm. I say, let's blow the roof off this joint. I say, let's rewrite history. I say, it's just the beginning, and we ain't seen nothing yet. So join the party. Join the party, because one thing, if you only knew, for all of us, the most important thing for us is not to tell you how great the channel was. It's for us to bring you the channel. If you can feel the difference, you get it, and you can walk with us through this entire thing. Every person's magic, every person's breakthrough, every person's code, every person's thing that we got by being together with them, we just want to bring it to you. And the reason we talk about the channel so much in the sisterhood is because this is a summit of sisterhood. And it wouldn't be the same to just love and admire each other for no reason. We love and admire each other because we gave ourselves and each other the time to get to know each other. And with the proof of concept that it took 2 years to unravel, we bring you the final result so that you can calibrate with warp speed to what we all know, so we can party faster.
Imagine, like I keep on posting every day, and I'm saying to myself, why not? Like, why wouldn't you come to drink from the fountain? There's like a fountain of gold, of unbelievable, amazing ladies. Everyone is sharper. Everyone is, sharper than the other. Everyone is bright. Everyone is glowing. It's all like, you're sitting around the diamond with infinite facets. Just be there.
And everyone who's there doing it, all they want is that we're all there. Like, there's not one person that's here just to say, come see me. It's come see what we found.
Yeah, come be with us.
Come be with us. Come be with us, and come come be with us and let's be with you. Like there really is this, like, we contemplated, how do we bring you the channel? How do you be the channel with us? And this summit is you being the channel with us. So the most important thing is that it isn't listening to us and what we experienced like this. It's being with us through what we experience. So by the end of this, you feel like you've been through the whole thing with us, the 2 years and the 11 days, the whole thing. Homaya, thank you so much for this incredible call. This was so beautiful. I'm going to end by reading Homaya's incredible, beautiful bio, which is absolutely not even the tip of the iceberg of who she is, but here we are. Homaya is a highly attuned international spirit leader, master teacher, and paramount healer, known for bringing together ancient wisdom with innovative contemporary modalities. Effortlessly, she activates a transformative, sacred space filled with advanced luminous codes facilitating profound shifts in consciousness. With a 22-year career to date, she has touched thousands through in-person and online workshops and retreats, empowering individuals to live their utmost aligned potential in business, relationships, and personal growth. Homaya's potent presence introduces irreversible life transformations, strong connections to your spirit, accelerating one's consciousness evolution and igniting life force. Her unique skills are prized by mentors, coaches, and healers aspiring to refine their abilities, enhance their impact and income, and step into mastery. This is so beautiful. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your spirit. Thank you for your kindness, your compassion, and your wisdom. We are so grateful for you. We love you.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, everyone who were here. I love you. I love you. I love the channel, and I'm very grateful.
And we will be back here this afternoon with the gorgeous Kim for another segment, and then with Riyadh in a few hours after that. So we will see you soon. Thank you for being.
Thank you.
Channel.